Alright guys, here's a review, well another review on top of the Google one, and the quizzes and everything else at your disposal. Um, so let's start. I'm going to go over this review real quick, and then I want to go watch the game. Sorry, someone was outside, I was a little scared. Alright, anyway, factor each completely. Okay? I'm going to look at both of these and see what numbers I can pull out and what letters I can pull out. Right now I know it's going to be 2. Okay? As far as B's, just pick the smaller one. Boom, that easy. 2 divided by 2 is 1, so let's kind of cancel. B squared divided by B is like you're subtracting exponents. So really the only thing I have left is B. Okay? Factor out a 2 from the negative 18 and we get negative 9. B cancel. Job done. And remember, if I want to go back and check my work, I can redistribute. 2b times b is 2b squared. 2b squared. Anyway, and 2 times negative 9 is that negative 18, and then tag on the b. I get the same answer, that must be right. Okay? Moving on to this one. R is really the only thing I'm going to pull out of both terms. R squared divided by R is simply R. Those R's cancel, so negative 6. And again, if I wanted to check my work, redistribute the R, I get R squared minus 6R. And that is absolutely right. Okay? And remember, freeze the video if you want to try these out on your own. Alright, this one, just by looking at it, can't pull anything out, so I'm going to go straight to my X. 21 on top, remember that's what's being multiplied. 10 on the bottom, and that's what's being added. Pick your two numbers, and we get, let me do some thinking, 3 and 7. 3 plus 7 is 10. 3 times 7 is 21. That's looking good. Since we are just factoring, I'm done. This is it. And if I were to remultiply that out, I know that a times a is a squared. A times 7 is 7a. Then we have our middle one here, 3a. 3 and 7 is 10. So there goes our middle term. And then 3 times 7 is 21. Moving on to the next one. Again, I don't see any greatest common factors to pull out. Let me get this thing out of the way. These dotted lines. There we go. Alright. Negative 35 on top. Again, that's what's being multiplied. Negative 2 on the bottom. That's what's being added. What two numbers can you think of? I'm thinking 5 and 7. I know I can get 2 out of that. When they multiply, they make 35. Only trouble is we have a negative here. So we probably need the negative on the 7. That way when we add 5, it's still negative 2. When we multiply, we get the negative 35. So again, x, tag that, I was going to put minus 7 right there. X minus 7, and then x plus 5. And again, we're just factoring, so you'll stop here. Also, just go back and check. X and x is x squared. Negative 7x, positive 5, we get the negative 2x. And then multiply, we do get the negative 35. Okay, next one. Again, pause the video so you can try it out on your own. Sorry about these boxes still staying there. Alright, just looking at it, can I pull a 5 out of any of these? Nope. So this is probably as low as it gets. 5 times 20 is 100, and 52 is in the middle. Just by looking at 52, I can already think of what the numbers are going to be. 50 and 2. Multiply these two, you get 100. Add them up, you get 52. So x plus 50, x plus 2. Don't forget to divide by that leading coefficient since we multiplied. Remember, 5 times 20 gave us the 100. Reduce, we get x plus 10. This can't reduce, so bottoms up. So we get 5x plus 2. Again, go back and multiply x, 5x squared. That's 50x, 2x, add them together, we get 52x. Then 10 times 2 is 20. So that's right. Also, we're just factoring, so we stop right here. Again, looking over here, I know 7 can't go into 8, and 8 sure can't go into 7. So this is probably as low as it gets. So there's no greatest common factor to get out. So 7 times 8, again, 7 times 8 is going to get us 56. Negative 57 on the bottom. Okay, I can already think of what the numbers are going to be. A negative 56 and a negative 1. If you were to combine these, we would get negative 57. You know, add them. But I do know multiplying, we get a positive 56, because 2 negatives make a positive. So that has to be it. N minus 56, n minus 1. Don't forget to divide by the leading coefficient. Excuse me. N negative 8. Bottoms up. 7n minus 1. Go ahead and think about it. 7 times n. 7n times n is 7n squared. Negative 87, negative 8 times 7n is negative 56. That negative 1 times that n is a negative 1. Combined like terms, we get negative 57n. Negative 8 times negative 1 is that positive 8. So that must be it. Again, I'm doing this in my head, but you could be doing Punnett squares to check it, okay? But, you know, like I said, I'm good like that. All right, moving on. Again, pause the video. There we go. Let's see here. All right, somehow these grouping snuck their way on your review here. But like I said, we're not going to test you over grouping. We decided that. But I am going to go over these just so you're aware of it, okay? So you can either A, skip these problems right now, or B, just watch it and take it in. Sorry, I'm eating M&Ms. When we group these things, you do the first 2 terms and the last 2 terms. You just look at the first group. What can I pull out? 5 and n squared. If I pull out of the front, I get an n. That's the same thing, so that's plus 1. The goal is to get this one to look like that one. In order to do so, I need to pull out a negative 4. Leftovers, n plus 1, because negative 4 divided by negative 4 is that 1. Negative 4 divided by negative 4 is a positive 1. They're the same. Now is the end goal. So then you pull out the stuff on the outside, stick them together, and then just bring down your parentheses, just like that. Remember, it's kind of like a reverse distributive property here, but that'd be it. Number 8, again, group the first 2, last 2, but don't forget you always take out greatest common factors. For this one, I think it's going to be 5r squared. That'll be 4r minus 5. It's going to get a little tight here, but if you notice, look, it's almost looking just like it, but the signs are wrong. I'm going to pull out a negative 1. That way the signs change to the right ones. Sorry, I got a little cramped over there. And then again, pull them down. Just like that. We'll hopefully see this again later in the semester so we can get more practice, but essentially that's all you having to do, okay? Let's see what's next. All right, solve each equation by factoring. So this is where we go one step further. Try and get rid of that box. All right, here we go. Remember, we need to make this side equal 0, so in order to do so, we need to add 15 to both sides. Okay? Negative 15 plus 15 is 0. There's no like terms here, so I'm going to keep them separate. Just like that. Immediately I look, there's no greatest common factor, so I'm going to go straight to my x. 15 on top, negative 8 on the bottom. Remember, what you multiply on top what you add on the bottom. A lot of you are making this mistake. Pick out your two numbers. I'm thinking 3 and 5. Only problem is one of them needs to be a negative. Or wait, maybe both need to be a negative because that's a positive. Negative 3 plus a negative 5 is going to be negative 8. Multiply these two, you get positive 15. That must be it. So x minus 3, x minus 5. You remember, we're solving, so we're going to pull out the opposites. I'm going to put them over here real quick. X equals 3 and x equals 5. These are my answers. Now remember, that comes from the idea that one of these has to be 0. So if I were to work it out, add 3, you get x equals 3. Add 5, we get x equals 5. Remember, we talked about how we're just pulling the opposites out, so we skip this work. Okay? Alright, let's try this one. Now, I know everything's over here, but remember, I think it's a good rule of thumb to keep this value positive. So, I'm killing two birds with one stone right now. So I'm moving everything over in one step. Notice how the x's are going with it, the signs have changed. These cancel. This equals 0. Put them in standard form. And just looking at it, I can already tell what I need. I'm going to put this x up here, okay? 24 on top, negative 10 on the bottom. I already know what my numbers are, negative 6, negative 4. If you were to combine these, you get negative 10, but if you were to multiply them, you get positive 24. So x minus 6, x minus 4, again, all these equal 0. We're solving. I am just pulling out the opposites. And again, if I were to set it up like this side, I'd be solving, okay? But I know my shortcut, so I'm taking it. Again, same thing, we're solving. Man, I don't know why those boxes pop up. Add 10x to both sides, again, because we need to make it equal 0. Those cancel. Remember, none of these are like terms, so x squared plus 10x, let me just rewrite that, plus 10x plus 16, okay? Write it in descending order. Some of you are mixing these two up and putting your numbers in the wrong spot on your x, okay? So we're in descending order now. 16's on top, 10 is on the bottom. It's probably going to be 8 and 2. Because if you add these, you get 10. If you multiply, you get 16. So x plus 8, x plus 2. I'm pulling out the opposites. X equals negative 8. X equals negative 2. Okay? Solve each equation by taking square roots. Remember, these were the easy ones. But again, you follow your PEMDAS, order of operations. The end goal here is to get p squared by itself and x squared by itself, so we can just take the square root, and that would be our very last step. So again, pause the video, try it out, start it back up, and we'll start solving. So, plus 7, 2p squared, 49 plus 7 is 56. Next is to divide by that 2 so that they cancel, and all you have left is p squared. 56 divided by 2, whoopsie daisy, my calculator's not in the right mode. 56 divided by 2, I think it's 28. From here, take the square root. P equals a plus minus. And look, I'm going to put this in my calculator and let it do the reducing for me. Yep. 2 root 7. And that'd be good enough for me. And if you've forgotten how to break 28 down, start with 2, get 14, then we get 2, 7. Here's your pairs. Remember, they move out. So 2 root 7 because he stays home. Okay? Again, this was last unit. I showed y'all you can use your calculators for this, so easy peasy. Alright, this side, let's see here. Add 4 to both sides. 9x squared equals 333. Yeah, that's right. Divide by 9. X squared equals, I have no idea. Let me punch that in my calculator. I get 37. Take the square root. X equals, sorry, jump the gun. X equals, what? Oh! X equals plus minus root 37. I know 37 is as low as it gets, but I'll check just to make sure. It is. Don't forget the plus minus. A lot of you were forgetting the plus minus. I took it easy on you on this quiz, but I'm not going to take it easy on you on this test. Don't forget the plus minus when we're solving. Sorry, I'm eating M&Ms. Subtract 8. Four x squared. Let's say 204. 196. Divide by 4. 49. This is a perfect square, so I know when I take a square root, I'm going to get an x equals plus minus 7. Boom. Those look like eyeballs. Alright, moving on. Solve each equation using the quadratic formula. Remember, that's negative b plus minus square root 4. Not 4, what am I doing? Got M&Ms on my brain. B squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. Remember, you can plug all this in your calculator like the formula, or you can use that little mode in some of the Casios that'll give you the answer anyway. But the trouble is making sure you plug it in right from the get-go. But first we need to set this up, okay? So subtract 9 from both sides. So we get n squared plus 2n minus 9. Leading coefficient is going to be 1, so a equals 1, b equals 2. That negative sticks with that 9, so c will be negative 9. Plug it all in the formula, so negative b, which will be 2, plus minus another b squared, so 2 squared minus 4 times 1, negative 9. Okay, plugging it all into the formula right now. 2 times the 1. Now I'm going to whittle it down a little bit. Negative 2 plus minus 2 squared is 4. I know that'd be a positive because negative and negative make a positive. That 1's not going to change anything. So 4 times 9 is 36. All over 2. Put this down some more. Negative 2 plus minus root 36 plus 4 is 40. Again, all over 2. Root 40 simplifies to 210. So negative 2 plus minus 2 root 10. All divided by 2. Look what happens if I do my pretzel thing. All these 2's turns into 1's. So negative 1 plus minus root 10. I don't put a 1 underneath because that wouldn't change anything. Okay? I'm going to use that mode thing in my calculator to check. So 1, enter, 2, enter, -9, enter, enter, and yep, I got the right answer. Sorry, my phone's going off. Dang it. Alright. Again, make the side equal 0, so we're going to subtract 1, subtract, oh boy, let me just try that again. Subtract 1, subtract 1. Again, nothing's like terms. 4m squared minus 7m minus 1 equals 0. A is going to be 4, B is going to be -7, and C is going to be -1. Plug it all in. -7 plus minus square root -7 squared. Don't forget the parentheses. A lot of you have been doing that, and you would write your answer as a -49 when it should be a +49. Subtract, let's see, 4. A is 4. It's getting a little cramped under here, but we can do it. And then -1 for C. Draw your line. 2, 4. Again, I'm going to whittle it down. Negative and negative make a positive. I'm about to burp, excuse me. 49, because we just had that discussion. -4 times a +4 is a -16. -16 times -1 is a +16. All over 2 times 4, which is 8. Okay? So 49 plus 16, let me see what that is. Dagnabbit all. I keep forgetting my calculator. It's not in the right mood. Mode, not mood, mode. Alright, 65. 7 plus minus root 65. All over 8. Now, I don't think 65 reduces, but I'll check. It doesn't. So, as far as I'm concerned, this is it. Put a box around it. Guess I've been forgetting to put x equals, but I'll understand what you put on your test. Okay? Remember, if that's the negative under the radical, then it's no real solutions. Okay? Alright, is this the last? Alright, this one's the last one. Let's see here. Subtract 1, subtract 11n, because you got to make it equal 0. So that equals 0. I'll move this over. Alright, here we go. So 6n squared minus 11n minus 1. Again, in standard form. A is 6, B is a -11, and C is -1. Plug it all in your formula again. I got it by memory, so I'm just going to go ahead and start making my substitutions. Let's see, B squared, so that'd be -11. Again, don't forget your parentheses. Minus 4A, which is 6, times the C, which is -1. And then 2 times the 6. +6. Sorry for that stray mark. I'm going to whittle it down again. Negative is 11. Plus minus 121. So that's -24. That -1 makes it a +24. All over 12. So 11 plus minus 121 plus 24 is going to be 145. All over 12. I'm going to see if this root 145 simplifies. Believe it or not, it doesn't. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm done. Okay? Now, that's it for the review. We have completing the squares, but this is kind of like that grouping. We're gonna put this on the back burner until we hit circles. Okay. Let's see how long this video is already. All right, it's 25 minutes, so I'm just going to ignore these. Don't worry about them. We'll get into it later when we hit circles, okay? So, go Falcons. Watch this before you watch the game, and then go to bed so you can come to school. Okay? All right. See y'all later. Bye-bye.